leave me alone at this point. I'm minding my business. I don't do anything. I don't say anything. Leave me alone, please. Enough time has gone by where it's valid to leave me alone. I beg of you, truly. That's my only request. Leave me alone. Be miserable somewhere else, please. So I don't normally do this, but I just wanted to say that today I'm having a day where I'm feeling just a little bit overwhelmed and tired, and I'm trying to get my body moving, and I'm trying to work out and stay on a routine, and I just found it more hard today than usual.
What up, Jay? What's up, Justin? Good morning, Justin.
It's possible that Justin Bieber just gave the internet a new heated drama, and followers are talking about it nonstop. The pop sensation abruptly shared a slew of mysterious comments that many believe were meant just for Selena Gomez Jelinas. Followers were sent into a frenzy, delving into every detail to support their argument. Thanks to the time, the language, and the subtle allusions. The issue is that Justin is still very much married to Hailey Bieber, and this most recent action has made her appear to be the inadvertent victim of public humiliation. Her recent social media posts, her public appearance, body language, and any indication that she could be reacting to the circumstance are already being analyzed by others. The entire situation has brought to life long-standing scars from the Jelena Aruse, the type of wounds that, in the court of public opinion, never fully healed. Seems like history repeating itself to a lot of fans. They recall the highs and lows of Justin and Selena's relationship, how it erupted into the public glare, and how every mysterious Instagram post or song would set off a chain reaction of conjecture. Now that Justin seems to be fanning those old fires, Hailey is caught in the middle of an online storm that she did not ask for but is unable to avoid. One thing is certain, regardless of whether it was a deliberate shade, an emotional lapse, or simply a miscommunication, one of the most talked about celebrity love triangles of the past 10 years has been rekindled by Justin's communications. And the consequences are only getting started. Marks the transition from a slightly dubious situation to a full-fledged soap opera. Justin shared an innocuous lyric or made an ambiguous post. Every motion he made seemed to have a deeper significance as he went into full storytelling mode. It becomes increasingly difficult to accept that everything is only a coincidence the more you consider it. Naturally, the unofficial detective team on the internet was on the case in a matter of minutes. It began with a song that was brimming with remorse and desire. The type of song that sounds as though it was composed with 1,000 old memories blaring in the background and a lump in the throat. The song's lyrics described a love that was both unattainable and unforgettable. Fans were immediately reminded of his turbulent past with Selena Gomez by this topic. People began searching through the records, relating the lyrics to times in their previous relationship. To be honest, it was difficult to overlook the similarities. However, Justin shared a series of pictures with Hailey. Normally, this wouldn't be noteworthy, but he combined the pictures with a statement that was like a kick to the stomach. "I don't like the guy I am, so I can't love you." You wouldn't exactly expect a guy to post about his wife with such a caption. Theories that this was not about Hailey at all, but rather a confession about how he felt during his relationship with someone else, or perhaps even how he feels now, virtually blew up the internet. The song Never Get Lonesome, which is rife with themes of loneliness, isolation, and yearning for someone far away, followed. It almost seems as though Justin was creating an emotive soundtrack for everyone to understand. The song might easily be the music of their unfinished narrative, according to fans who immediately linked Selena to the dots. Then came the suit. Wearing a beanie and sweatshirt adorned with little cartoon cats, Justin went out. Or adorable, huh? Oh. When you consider that the incident happened only 2 days after Selena shared a picture of a kitten cuddled up in her lap, it may not seem so innocent. It was clear enough for ardent supporters to yell, "He is sending a sign on social media," but subtle enough to be dismissed as a coincidence. Justin, however, didn't stop there. Just as the "I.O. Benny" trend was taking off online, he tagged another photo with the words "I.O. Eddie," which may have been the most controversial move so far, in case you missed it. The main idea behind this trend is that individuals say they treat Selena better than her current partner, Benny Blanco. It was like adding fuel to an already blazing inferno when Justin posted that caption at that precise moment. The message was connected to a song about appreciating a lady the way her ex never did, which only served to heat things up. Supporters couldn't agree if this was a public display of Justin's subconscious or an incredible act of disrespect for Benny. As if that weren't enough, fans began to see uncanny parallels between the song's "Way It Is" and "Call Me When You Break Up." One sounds like someone who is eager to return, and the other one sounds like someone who is waiting calmly. Fans are questioning whether Justin is attempting to use music to convey a tale in real time because they read together as two sides of the same conversation. As a result, there was a flurry of conjecture, Twitter conspiracy boards, TikTok videos that broke down every line, and thousands of admirers who believed that Justin was either extremely divided about his past or not quite as over it as he wanted people to believe. Considering that he has openly said that he has moved on, his posts paint a completely different, highly emotional, and widely shared picture. One that puts Hailey in the midst of a crisis that she most likely wishes would stop. And Justin throws another curveball to the internet right when you think he might finally slack off on the mysterious material. Suddenly he posts something on Instagram that seems to be taken directly from his emotional journal. There is only a brief excerpt of a song playing over a collection of somber, beautiful images that seem like they may be early promotional images. For a new album, no text, no emojis, and no explanation. The moment it hit his feed, fans went into overdrive. While others were interested in whether he was hinting at new music, the majority of fans were only able to focus on J.J. Cale's song, "Wish I Had Not Said That." It's not quite the type of cheerful, neutral song you would publish on a Tuesday afternoon. Themes of regret, desire, and bittersweet love abound in this traditional song. Furthermore, Justin, being Justin, didn't choose a passage at random. No, he went right to the line in the lyrics that was the most gut-punching. "If only I could put you out of my thoughts. Whatever you're interested in doesn't matter. I would experience both the pleasure and the anguish if I could taste you again. We could reach the finish line. I wish I hadn't said that, sweetie." Those are not light words. They resemble the admission of someone mentally reliving past errors, troubled by the possibility of what may have been if they had approached the situation differently. Fans were also left to fill in the blanks on their own because Justin provided no background at all. You can imagine. Within minutes, conjecture erupted on social media. Was there a specific target? Was it a simple, "I'm sorry" apology? Was it an indication that he still had unresolved matters to attend to with a former romantic partner? Not long after, Selena Gomez's name began to trend alongside his, because these words seemed to many fans to be a clear reflection of the highs and lows of their relationship. The worst part was that there was no explanation. Justin did not specify if this was a reference to his own emotions, an idea for his upcoming album, or just a song he happened to be enjoying. Silence speaks louder than words when you are a famous figure with a complicated and convoluted past like his. He allowed the internet to go crazy by being silent, and people gladly ignored him. In a matter of hours, TikTok was overrun. People were linking the lyrics to historical events by splicing the song over old footage of him and Selena. Others were dissecting every word, pointing out that the line "feel the pain and the pleasure" is similar to how Justin has described their intermittent relationship in previous interviews. Fan threads were circulating on Twitter that compared these lyrics to Selena's most poignant songs from Revival and Rare, as well as his own songs from the Purpose era. There was also, of course, the argument that this post had nothing to do with the past, that Justin may be utilizing music as a subliminal release during a difficult time in his present marriage. Some even speculated that he was doing this to gauge public opinion before formally releasing new content with related topics. It's obvious that Justin understood precisely what he was doing, regardless of the reality. You don't upload music. This loaded, remove any context. And then leave it alone unless you're ready for the internet to analyze it from every perspective. And once more, he has succeeded in transforming a single post into an extensive discussion on his romantic life, his emotional health, and whether or not he is really over the phase of his life that his followers find impossible to let go of. Because, let's face it, when you write something like, "Wish I had not said that, baby," and then you quietly go, you're doing more than just sharing music. You are beginning a narrative. And the world is currently attempting to determine how. It ends precisely. And just when you think you understand Justin's mysterious posting flurry, he abruptly and perplexingly changes the tone. This time, the enigma was enclosed in what seemed to be a screen grab from a video chat with his wife Hailey. The soundtrack caught everyone off guard, even though the image appeared to be rather informal. Justin chose the song "I Don't Like the Man That I Am" to accompany the event, rather than a romantic ballad or an upbeat love tune. Yes, you can imagine the reaction to it. He selected a powerful excerpt. "I can't love you, I see. I don't believe. I can actually. I don't like the guy I am, so I can't love you. I see now that I have a fool within my mind. I'm furious with him. I have no desire to advance. Oh, I'd rather not be led. I can't love you, I see. I don't believe I can, actually." You wouldn't expect someone to put those kinds of lyrics alongside a happy phone conversation with their spouse. Fans were taken aback. Some thought it was a strange and tone-deaf decision, while others thought it was a coded message about how his relationship was going. Did he come upon this song by chance, or was it a brutally honest confession that was inserted into his feed under the pretense of appreciating music? In any case, the internet discussion was unrelenting. However, Justin didn't end there. He followed that hefty, almost hostile message with something lighter but no less laden, as if intent to keep everyone guessing. This time, he included a different music clip along with a picture of himself blowing a kiss. Here, the tone was softer, almost optimistic, but it was still tinged with a deeper meaning that fans could not help but notice. Nothing will matter in paradise anymore. Not negatively, since we will be certain that we are in paradise, where time flies by and the things we enjoy last forever, because that is the way things are there. And all of those years of doubt and worry were a farce. We'll just laugh about it when we look back. It seemed lovely at first, almost like a fantasy of going somewhere where there are no more pains. However, depending on how you interpret it, it may also seem like someone seeking solace from the burden of their everyday existence. Supporters argued about whether Justin was implying that he wanted calm, that he wanted to flee from everything, or that he was just comforting himself that the upheaval would eventually end. Naturally, these two blogs begin to feel less like random music pictures and more like parts of an emotional puzzle when you stack them side by side. One post discusses how inner anguish prevents one from loving, while the other imagines a carefree, secure environment where suffering is only a memory, a riddle that only Justin can now answer. This is where the Benny Blanco aspect becomes truly intriguing. And supporters speculate that Justin may have moved beyond random incident to deliberate disparagement. There was a TikTok movement that went widespread a few weeks ago. It wasn't just any trend either. The foundation of it was a cheeky little parody song composed by two TikTokers who were openly making fun of Justin Bieber. The entire idea implies that Justin still has feelings for Selena Gomez and would treat her far better than her present partner, Benny Blanco. The lyrics were direct and to the point. "Hey, trust me, I would still treat Selena better than you if we were together. Superior to you. I came across you on TikTok. I kind of felt bad when I watched all of your videos on Wii. It kind of pains me. For a while it was catchy, a bit petty, and unavoidable on TikTok. Additionally, you can be sure that anything that achieves that degree of virality will end up on Justin's feed. This is a man who has, after all, always been involved in pop cultural events, particularly those involving his name. Then, without warning, Justin shares a picture of his pal Eddie Benjamin on Instagram with the remark, "Yo, Eddie," but in a unique way. Fans are immediately reminded of the exaggerated "Io Benny" chant from the popular TikTok fad as he draws out the vowels in phrases like, "Are you Eddie?" People quickly began making connections between the dots. Was Justin only making fun of his friend's name? Or was he purposefully mimicking the meme in a way that quietly substituted Eddie's name for Benny's? Because if it was deliberate, it was premeditated and not merely frivolous. That's putting yourself in the shoes of the superior guy, even if it's all in jest and following a viral trend that criticizes Benny for allegedly mistreating Selena. This is where it becomes even juicier. It wasn't just the picture or the text that Eddie posted. Additionally, Justin included a song with it. Additionally, it's difficult to avoid being skeptical after hearing the lyrics. The theme of the song is wanting to get to know someone completely, to know what makes her happy and sad, and to know how to be the one that is there for her no matter what. "I want to know what turns you on so I can be all that and more," the lyrics read. "To be the person who always makes you smile, I'd like to know what brings you to tears." He never took the time to make it work, girl, and he never realized how valuable you were. No, girl, you deserve more affection. "I'm the type of man who displays concern, baby. I do, indeed. In any case, so that I can satisfy you. Let me find out. Does it sound innocent?" Not when you consider that Benny was being openly ridiculed by the TikTok movement for not treating Selena the way she deserved. Additionally, it seems more than a coincidence that Justin posted this song just after making fun of that tendency. The second stanza of the same song is maybe much more revealing, which raises even more eyebrows. "I wish I could travel inside your head and discover the feelings you constantly attempt to conceal. I do think you have a love you wish to convey. Darling, I'll look after you well, woman. Don't be afraid." When you consider everything, the lyrics about stepping, the date, and the allusion to a Benny viral trend, fans are talking about Justin's past with Selena and the fact that another man failed. This is more than simply an inside joke with Eddie. In their opinion, this is a direct message from Justin that coincidentally falls in the midst of his ex's current relationship and is wrapped in music and meme culture. And the main query that everyone has is whether Justin was genuinely attempting to be subtle or whether he wanted others to see what he was doing. If the latter, then Benny Blanco was just called out in one of the most subtle yet effective ways imaginable. And this is when things start to get nasty. If you thought the Eddie post was innocent fun, because Eddie Benjamin is more than simply a buddy. He is among Justin Bieber's closest associates. Indeed, their relationship is so strong that Hailey Bieber has allegedly been envious of it for years. Do you recall Coachella? According to several reports, Justin found it difficult to keep his hands off Eddie, and people were aware of that tension. Eddie has contributed significantly to Justin's career in more recent years, even helping to compile his whole record. This is what has everyone talking, though. Who is Eddie Benjamin exactly? Furthermore, why does his past seem like something from a Hollywood fever dream? Although he is not as well known as Benny Blanco, he has spent years around the A-list. Eddie's Australian, born into a creative family, his mother a dancer, his father a traveling drummer, and at 14, he was already performing live at clubs in Sydney. Before entering the professional music industry and working behind the scenes, with well-known artists like Shawn Mendes, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Meghan Trainor. He even founded a school band called the Hayes Trio. Then everything changed in 2022. As an opening act on the Justice Tour, Eddie got to know Justin, and their bond was practically unbreakable after that. And because Eddie's personal life is intricately linked to singer Sia and former child star Maddie Ziegler, this is where the narrative takes an even crazier turn. You see, Eddie dated Maddie. Before becoming Justin's right-hand guy, he met C via her. And she became so fond of him that she began referring to him as her Australian son. She even acknowledged taking on a maternal-like protecting role in his life. Eddie claims that Sia's family took him in when he first went to Los Angeles, even though he is more than twice her age. Additionally, CIA boasted publicly that it had checked his contracts and protected him from the worst aspects of the music business. Although it appears lovely on paper, people have been wondering online for years why CIA always houses much younger artists, particularly those associated with Maddie. A Reddit member provided a succinct summary. Maddie presents her lover to the CIA. The CIA then puts Maddie's boyfriend into her residence. Soon he will continue to date Maddie while referring to her as a mother figure. To say the least, the optics are out of the ordinary. And now that Justin's music and personal life revolve around Eddie, and Justin openly participates in the IO Eddier movement, which subtly makes fun of Selena's current boyfriend. You have to ask yourself, is this a simple friendship, or is there something much more complex going on here? Online fans have been calling this conduct outright insane and pointing out that it has gone into entirely unknown terrain. In a direct statement, one commenter said, "She's such a creep. And I'm over it." The problem, they suggest, is that she hides behind this image of being protective, using it as a handy excuse to act in ways that feel unnecessarily invasive and unsettling, especially toward children and young teenagers. The 3 adolescent boys she acquired last year, who were apparently only transitioning out of foster care, are now the subject of increased worry. These guys, who are hardly legal adults, reside on her land full-time despite not having any biological ties to her. Some people were instantly alarmed by this arrangement, making analogies to well-known incidents like Arch Kelly and raising the question, why isn't anyone in the mainstream calling this out? According to the popular narrative about CIA, she is still viewed as a gentle, somewhat saintly person who comes in, takes children from difficult homes, and gives them a chance at a better life. People want to trust this narrative because it is wholesome. However, underneath that slick public persona, detractors claim there is a pattern of conduct that is really concerning when you properly put the pieces together. People want to know who else these youngsters have in their corner. Who is the responsible, grounded adult ensuring that limits are upheld? Furthermore, what takes place when the dynamics change? For instance, would Eddie have to leave Maddie's home if they split up? Would he still be associated with the CIA? When you consider how the timing unfolded, that question becomes much more intriguing. After Maddie and Eddie's romance ended, Justin Bieber seemed to enter the scene. According to reports, the two first crossed paths in 2022 when Eddie toured as Justin's opener. Things then took a turn for the worst. Justin publicly referred to Eddie as the next generation of music, and they started sharing content about one another on social media. This year, Justin releases his album Swag, on which 11 of the 21 tracks have Eddie listed as a co-writer. Even by Bieber standards, the album's release was a touch disorganized. According to sources, Justin, Eddie, and his group submitted it very late, surprising streaming services and fans alike. Due to the last-minute nature of the release, Spotify and Apple Music were unable to upload the complete, precise credits, which caused uncertainty about who had truly contributed to what. According to reports, some of Eddie's efforts weren't even immediately apparent. However, they were both in love on the internet. Eddie wrote an emotional article about working on the record with his closest buddy, describing it as the most fulfilling musical endeavor of his career and expressing gratitude for both the friendship and the creative process with Justin. Naturally, not everyone took the bestie story at its value. According to some internet commentators, Justin's name was just there for brand strength, and Eddie practically served as his ghostwriter, doing the majority of the work. Nevertheless, Eddie has never held back when expressing his admiration for Justin. Eddie spoke highly of Justin in an interview with Zach Sang, praising his extraordinary musical sense and describing him as extraordinarily brilliant. He spoke about Justin in a way that almost seemed reverent. Like he wasn't simply talking about a collaborator, but about someone he saw as especially unusual and wonderful.